Yo, what's good, internet people? So today I want to do something a little different. I've got a couple of friends that, well, I've got one friend in particular that he's hardstuck silver and gold. Me and my buddy Beach Gaming, as he goes by on YouTube, have been trying to help him out, and it's just, I don't know if we're not explaining things correctly or what, but he is really struggling to improve and understand exactly what we're trying to help him out with. So I wanted to make this video to kind of break down a couple mechanics and some game sense things that we've tried working with him on that he just is struggling to grasp, and try to break it down more cohesively and in greater depth so that he can watch it at his leisure, and maybe that will help him understand what we're trying to talk about. He's really struggling to do anything more advanced than like a basic aerial. He really struggles with game sense type stuff, like when we're defending, when we're on offense, just stuff like that. Alright, so the first thing that I wanted to work on was a couple of mechanics things. He's not a very mechy player by any means. He can hit some neat shots on occasion, but his mechanics in general are just really lacking. So I thought I would open up this video with one of the most basic mechanics out there, and that is the half flip. So what's a half flip? Basically, a half flip is a backflip, which you then cancel. It allows you to get momentum in reverse. It's a great positioning tool. There's so many applications that it's used for. How exactly do you perform a half flip? So I'll break this down into steps. The first step, of course, is getting in reverse. Okay? You don't have to be going very fast. When you're proficient at it, you don't even need to basically move at all. But when you're learning, it can be a little difficult if you're not up to speed. So I would recommend getting up to speed before attempting to do the half flip itself. So that's the first step, is reverse. The second step is to backflip. So step 3 would be to cancel that backflip. So how you're going to do that is you're going to press up about half a second after you start the backflip, and that will do this. Yep. It literally cancels your backflip. So how is that useful? Well, if you're anything like me, you've looked up a million pro button bindings and camera settings. And all of the pros recommend, and I recommend very highly as well, to bind a directional air roll button. You don't need two. I use two. I use directional air roll left on my L1, and I use air roll right on my R1. But you really only need one. So once you have that bound, let's put it all together. Reverse, back flip, cancel, air roll. Just like that. Easy peasy. Now there's another way that you can do this. I don't do it all that often. I've done it a couple times. But you can do a diagonal flip and then cancel by just pressing up. It'll cancel your up-down momentum, but not your side-to-side momentum. And what I mean by that is, so you see how when you diagonal flip, your car kind of goes all wonky for a little bit. Well, if you press up during a diagonal flip, as you can see, it cancels just half of the flip. It still does the flip, it just doesn't do, or it does the roll, but it doesn't do the flip. Just like that. And you can do it both directions. So, which one should you be using? Well, that depends on the scenario. So, I pretty much only use the normal one, but there's some good utility for the diagonal flip. For example, say you're over here and you're getting ready to defend. The opponents are bringing the ball your way, and you want to flip into the corner to get a lot of momentum going up onto your back. So if you diagonal flip backwards and to the left, this happens. Yeah, awesome. So you can get back onto your backboard pretty fast. For the most part, just do the normal one, unless you can get really good at the diagonal one. Just do the normal one. What are some use cases for the half flip? Well, it's a great way to turn around really fast. It's literally the fastest way to turn around. You can also combine it with boost to go even faster. Very oftentimes in Rocket League, offense and defense can change rapidly. So say you go to boom the ball up towards the opponent's net. They defend it, and they bang it all the way back to your net. They just hit the most banger shot they've ever hit. Well, you can just half flip, add boost, and you're back to your net. That wasn't the greatest save, but you get the intent there. I've made a ton of pretty spectacular saves using the half flip. Overall, it's just, most people would recommend it's one of the first mechanics you learn, just because it's that good. So I mentioned my buddy DJ Gaming. Well, I call him DJ. I know him IRL. Him and I disagree about whether this mechanic is even useful. I don't see how it couldn't be, or how anybody could think that it's not. He just doesn't understand the utility for it. He can't see how something could be applied or what use cases it has, therefore he thinks that it's useless. Such as defending while backwards, shadow defending, and say that shot's coming. Defending like that. Or like, let's get this out of here a little ways. Okay, so defending backwards. It's so much easier for me to do this without talking and just like turning my brain off and just doing it. But yeah, so defending backwards. He doesn't think it's important. He doesn't think shadow defending is important, which is basically where, so if, pretend the ball's an opponent, they're coming at me, you're mirroring their movements and keeping the ball in between you and them, and keeping yourself between the ball and your net. That's shadow defense. And you can like fake challenge, you can real challenge. There's a whole lot of application to shadow defending, and me and DJ, we are in complete disagreement about it. He doesn't think it's useful at all, and I think it's one of the most useful things you can learn. And the reason I brought that up is because he feels the same way about half flips. He doesn't understand why half flips are useful. He doesn't think they're important to learn, which maybe they're not for him. I mean, we've stayed relatively close in terms of rank and skill level. We've learned things at different rates, of course. Like, he could go up on the walls way, way earlier than I could. And he was reading the ball on bounces before I was. He started hitting double taps pretty consistently a couple months ago, and I'm still not hitting, I'm just learning how to properly air dribble and double tap. Whereas I, on the other hand, was learning how to aerial and learning what the advanced tech and mechanics were called and how to perform them, even though I couldn't perform them myself. And I learned more game sense related stuff before he did, like rotations, specifically back post rotations, smart positioning, and then other general things like staying out of the corner, just playing patiently, not ball chasing, not double committing, stuff like that. So I'm not saying he's not skilled, he places more importance in different things than I do. And he doesn't think that half flips are important, but I completely disagree. And I think that he would be so much higher rank if he learned how to do these basic mechanics that's important for everybody to learn. And that's the whole point of this video, is hoping not only my other friend will watch it, but DJ as well, so that maybe it'll give him some insight as to why I put so much stock into these mechanics. Okay, so we talked about the half flip. Very useful mechanic. Learn it as soon as possible. Use it constantly. The next mechanic is another pretty... so I think it's easy, but Rocket League Nation seems to be in disagreement, and I think the reason for that is because half of them just don't understand how to actually fast area. So I'll do a demonstration really quick. So that's a fast area. Now, here's a normal area. Okay, I'll turn the ball cam off so that you can just focus on my car. That's a normal aerial, right? It's pretty slow. Here's a fast area. Pretty fast. Like, especially in the lower ranks, like, threats are not going to get much higher than probably here. You know, like, right about the crossbar is about as high as people are going to make threatening plays in the low ranks. Because they're just not mechanical, they're not precise, they're not consistent. So there'll always be that fluke shot, you know, like the pinch in the opponent's corner that goes straight into your net, or the attempted passing play that gets a weird bounce that you weren't expecting, that just lines the opponents up perfectly for a breakaway goal. You know, shit happens. Yeah, anyway, shit happens. Weird things happen sometimes. But for the most part, actual plays from low ranks are going to be very simple. They're going to be very low, very grounded, and they're just going to be wild as hell. You know, their shooting accuracy is not there. Their defending is basically non-existent. So it's not too important before plat, mid-plat, high-plat to learn this mechanic, but again, as soon as you learn these mechanics, the better. Like, the sooner the better. Because they will become a staple in how you play. And they're so extremely important to improving and outplaying your opponents and just everything. And this is where me and DJ will agree, is fast aerialing, while, again, like, half of the fan base didn't have very much difficulty at all learning it. I didn't. The other half did. DJ was one of those. It was just very complex, and there were just too many rapid steps for him to follow. He eventually got it down, but yeah, very important to learn it now as soon as possible, because the earlier you get good at it, the better. So basically how you fast aerial, you're going to jump while holding boost, so like that. You're going to point your nose in the air. This is all at the same time. So you're going to jump, boost, and hold back to put your nose in the air. That's step one. Step two is you're going to stop holding back, and you're going to reset the thumbstick to neutral. You're just going to let go of it. You're going to let go of the thumbstick so that your nose is pointed up. And the third step is, while still boosting, you're boosting the entire time, you double jump. You can hold your thumb in a way that you're covering both the X and the circle button. If your bindings are different than mine, so I've got boost on X and jump on circle. That's not the default, but the reason I do that is so that I can drift while boosting. So yeah, that's why I did that. So you can hold your thumb in a way where you can hold X or circle, depending on how your button mapping is, and you can press the jump button at the same time while you're still boosting the entire time. And you're gonna do this a lot when you first learn how to fast aerial. You're gonna do like that, or you're gonna backflip a lot, because to do it as fast as you possibly can, you have to jump pretty much the instant you let go of the thumbstick. You have to double it. So yeah, you're gonna backflip a lot. Again, that's why it's important to learn this as early as possible. Get really good at it. Yeah, so let's break down the steps again. At the same time, step 1, you're going to jump, hold boost, and hold back to point your nose up into the air. Step 1. Step 2 is you're going to, while still boosting, you're going to let go of the thumbstick when your nose is pointed in the air. And then step 3 is you're going to hit jump again, while again, still boosting. You are boosting the entire time. I brought up Rocket League Nation earlier. This is where so many people struggle with doing fast aerials, is because they do it wrong. They don't understand that you have to hold boost the entire time. So step 3, while still boosting, double jump. And you put it all together and it'll look like this. And that is a fast aerial. So the applications for fast aerial should be pretty obvious to you just from the get-go. It gets you in the air faster, obviously. When you learn how to fast aerial, depending on what rank you are, you'll pretty much, if you're plat or lower, you'll beat everybody to the ball all the time, because they're not fast aerial. Or they're not consistent with it, and they do this fucking number. You know, they backflip. They don't have the muscle memory. So they mess it up a lot. You will smoke just about everybody to the ball until you hit like flat 3, diamond 1. And by that point, everybody's fast aerialing, and it's just something you need to know how to do. That's where it becomes like a staple of your repertoire, is plat 3, diamond 1. There's the applications, obviously, and, you know, use your brain and critical thinking to create scenarios in your head where it'll be useful, because there's too many situations for me to cover now. But I will go with one. Okay, so say that's the opponent, and this boost right here is the ball, but it's way up in the air. So even from this distance, if he's not fast aerialing, you'll smoke him to the ball every single time, even though he is so much closer, because fast aerialing is just that good. Yeah, that's fast aerialing. Those are the two mechanics that are the most important for you to learn now. So let's cover a couple of game sense things. Okay, I'll break it down like this, because this is something we've been trying to get our friend to understand for a while, and something's just not clicking. So I'll be as thorough as I can. So in Rocket League, you have offense and you have defense. For the most part, there's gonna be one team on offense attacking and one team on defense. And how you figure out whether you're on offense or defense is A, are you on your side of the field or the opponent's side of the field? And B, do you have possession of the ball, controlled possession of the ball, or do your opponents have controlled possession of the ball? So if you are anywhere in here, let's say I'm blue, right? Actually, I'll be orange because my car color might confuse you. Anywhere over here, roughly, even I'd even say pushing up to these boosts, anything behind that, you're defending. you're on defense. Whether you have possession of the ball or not, even controlled possession, this is your defensive zone. You always prioritize being defensive when you're over here. So I'd say probably 75% of your side of the field is your defensive zone. When you're on defense, the person who's closest to the ball is called first man. They should pretty much always, I'm speaking in terms of twos. Threes is a little different. Ones is completely different because there's no rotation in ones. But this is for twos. So things are going to be a little different if you're playing threes. So just keep that in mind. In twos, when you're on defense, the person who is closest to the ball on your team, well, on either team, is called first man. And the person who is furthest from the ball is called last man. Rotation is where one man goes on the ball, does his play, whatever that play is, whether he whiffs or not, he makes the play on the ball, and then, okay, so say I'm attacking the ball here, and my teammate is back in here. Okay, just keep that in mind. You're always going to rotate away from the play to the back of your post. So, or to your back post, sorry. You're going to make your play. Okay, boom. I took a shot. I'm going to rotate back post and get out of my teammate's way. Once my teammate is on the ball or far enough into the opponent's side of the field to be comfortable, for you to be comfortable, you can turn and become second man in an offensive state. You're second man, but you're not necessarily defending. You are basically getting in position for whatever could possibly happen. So whether your teammate comes here into the corner and tries to make a passing play, right? They just boom it into the corner, make a passing play. You're gonna get ready for that. So you're gonna be probably about here. If they are all the way, on this side, you're gonna be roughly here in this general area. And then however close they are to the middle point in relation to the wall, you're going to incrementally continue to push this way until you're, roughly there. That's good positioning. It's good rotation. So they're going to make the pass, and obviously you're probably going to try and go for the shot. If you don't have a shot, that's fine. Like if the ball does what it did over here, where it rolls up, and then it kind of just rolls back down, and it's moving super slow, and the opponents are probably going to have a man back here, and if it's a low rank, they're probably going to have a man chasing your man who is making the pass, trying to, I don't know what he thinks he's doing. But yeah, he's chasing the ball, he's chasing your teammate, so he's going to be roughly here. And so they're obviously going to be able to get a clear. Your best place to be in that situation, because your teammate should be trying to stay out of the play, so he does the pass, right? So he, boom, hit the ball up here. He's likely going to come back down, grab this boost or this boost. He's going to rotate like this, right? So he's going to pass, come down off the wall, he's going to rotate back like that. Where your mind should be is, if they get a booming clear, what gives us the best chance of being ready for it and covering as much of the field as possible? So again, your teammate is going to be over here, right? Roughly. They're going to be roughly over here. So you're going to want to be like over here. So you're going to want to, before they even get the touch, if you see that you can't get a shot, you're going to want to be like turned around and about here, so that by the time they get their touch, you can be like out here. And then again, your teammate is going to be over there, roughly. They're going to be somewhere over there. you're going to be here. There's nothing there's no threat at all if you're mechanical and consistent. So yeah, that's how you rotate. That's good positioning, things that you should be thinking about pretty much constantly. So let's get back to offense and defense. So 75% back of your field is your defensive zone. Because we just talked about first man, second man, and I went on a tangent because autism brain, ADHD brain, you know. When you're on defense, first man, the guy closest to the ball and closest to the play in general, is pretty much always going to want to challenge. Of course, like they can be patient with the challenge. They can be calculating with the challenge like I am. And it pisses a lot of my friends and teammates off because they want me to just charge the ball. And I'm like, no, why don't I wait for the opponent to give up possession and then I'll challenge? And then guess what? I have possession and I can do kind of fancy things. So I'm going to do that. I don't know why it pisses my teammates off so much that I don't challenge when they want me to challenge. Like, let me play my game. Anyway, whether first man is shadow defending, whether they are challenging the ball, whether they are fake challenging just to force a play out of the opponent, whether they are challenging to take a 50, that's what first man should always be doing. Always be putting pressure on the opponent who has possession of the ball. Second man, on the other hand, so the ball's over here, he's going to have been rotating back post like we just talked about. So he's going to be over here. And the ball's not going to be there, of course. It's going to be, roughly here or closer to the net. So he's back post. And second man is just going to sit here and watch what's going on and wait patiently, not challenge, not, put himself out of position, not leave an open net. He's going to wait patiently back here, back post. And what I mean by back post is the opposite post or the opposite side of the field that the ball is on is your back post. So here. And the reason you want to be back post is because if you're front post, there's good times to defend front post, but I'm not going to get into that right now because this is just a beginner's guide to rotations and game sense, yada yada. But if you're front post, your opponent can just boom the ball straight back here, and the chances that you're going to save it are very slim because you are covering less of the net. Because again, it's your front post. That means everything from here to here is what you're not able to cover consistently if your teammate or if your opponent can make boomer shots. You cannot defend any of this if they just get the most peak shot of their lives. Do not be front post as last man. Don't be the guy that is not defending back post when your teammate first man is trying to force a play out of the opponents or steal possession or just be a nuisance in general. Be the guy that's sitting here back post patiently, waiting patiently, of course watching for demos because every now and then opponents like to just completely ignore rotations and positioning and come all the way around here just to demo the defender. So you're going to watch for the demos, of course, but you're just going to sit here and wait patiently and watch what's going on. And as soon, well, I wouldn't say as soon, let the ball get somewhat close to the net so that when you defend, you can maintain control and possession of the ball. But you also need to be aware of what your opponents are doing and what their habits are. If they are very controlled players, you're going to want to challenge as soon as you see that the ball is basically free, is yours for the taking, that nobody else can beat you to the ball. That's when you're going to challenge. But if they are just booming the ball and you don't really try to maintain possession, they just take every shot, whether it's from, where the ball is now, like 75% of the field away from your net, and they're just going to take the shot. You're going to wait until the ball gets pretty close to the net before you challenge, because they can't do anything, right? They already took their shot, and they took it from such a distance that you have all the time in the world to form whatever plan you want and make whatever play you want, because he just boomed it not only away from himself but away from his teammate, who should be second man. So he'll either be directly behind him, kind of layered up, or he'll be like off center, staggered, so that he's like more mid field in relation to his teammate. Neither of them can do anything with the ball because silly first man here just boomed the ball away from both of them. Probably your teammate too. So you're just going to wait for the ball to get close. If you see that they boom the ball and they're still staying on it, so they boom the ball, right? And they're still staying with it, whether they are like going full fucking hand mode, like supersonic, whatever. If they're trying to stay on it and they're relatively close, if you can beat them to it, do so. But if they're a ways away and there's no chance whatsoever of them beating you to the ball while it's, basically rolling towards you, just wait. Just be patient. Just form a plan in your head and execute that plan. But always stay. So, yeah, the ball's it's kind of awkward. It is on the right side here, so you would want to be on the left side, which would be the back post. But you could be like anywhere right here if it's a midfield shot or a midfield play, because the odds that they're going to be able to precisely shoot the ball up here is very unlikely, especially at the low ranks. So you can just focus on defending all of this right here, all of this good shit, right? Just not completely, but for the most part, ignore this side, because they're not gonna shoot precisely. Just defend all that, because they're just gonna shoot ball on net, right? They're just gonna shoot the ball, and likely they're gonna be aiming for the middle of the net, because they're still learning how to shoot with precision and consistency. So they're just focusing on getting center mass and increasing their chances of scoring a goal. So they're gonna shoot mid, center net, basically. So just defend like right here. Right here. Okay? Cool. Okay, what is defense when the opponents have possession? Defense when the opponents have possession. It's like the opposite of yours. 25% of their side of the field and all of your side of the field is your defensive zone when the opponents have controlled possession. So, again, first man, making challenges, forcing plays, taking 50s, whatever. They're doing their thing. And last man, he doesn't necessarily have to be back post if the ball is way up here. He just needs to be, he should be back post, like in terms of positioning, but he doesn't have to be sitting at the post like this. He can be like over here waiting for his teammate to make their challenge so that he can just react to whatever happens. You know, if they take a 50 and the ball gets pinched out here, you're already here, and likely everybody else is over there. You know, the second man on the opponent's team is over there. Your opponent your teammate just challenged, so he's over there. And then first man on the opponent's side is going to be way out here now because he just fucking, you know, dove on the ball and he's out here. So the ball's yours over here. And it doesn't really matter if you're facing away, shadow defending like I pretty much constantly do, you know, facing away when you're on defense, or facing this way, you know, towards the opponent's net, because it's going to pinch out this way. You've got all the time in the world, especially if you're fast aerial, because you're going to beat everybody to the ball no matter what from this position. No matter what you do, you couldn't even boost. You could just drive like this and you'll beat them to the ball. Form a plan and execute. So say it pinches the other direction, out that way. At that point, it's a little bit scary because you're going to be in the same position that the opponents were in if it pinched that way. You and your teammate will be nowhere near the ball. First man on the opponent's side will be out here, and second man will be rotated into first man and will be somewhere in that general area. They'll be able to probably get to the ball before anyone, except for maybe the other opponent. In that scenario, the ball gets pitched out there, you're just going to rotate back post. And you're going to wait for the play. You're not going to challenge. You're not going to leave your net open. You're going to sit back post and wait for the play. And specifically what you're waiting for either your teammate to rotate back around and start shadow defending or make a challenge, or you're waiting for the opponents to make their play if your teammate just can't get back in time. And when they take their shot, that's when you defend. Because if you wait for them to take the shot, you can react. But if you panic and you just dive on the ball, you not only leave your net open if you whiff, or if they just get the ball around you, you leave your net completely open, and you now can't get back to defend, and likely your teammate can't either. So it's a free goal. But then that brings up the topic of Rocket League players and open nets, which we're not gonna discuss. Any other position that I haven't mentioned at this point, you should be on offense. So you have possession and you're past this point. So you're over here, all the way to the end, you're on offense. Your opponents are in possession, and you're like this line right here, all the way to the back of their net. You're still on offense, but you're going to play a little safe. You're not going to overcommit. You're just going to focus on gaining possession if you don't already have possession. And if you're rotating well, no matter what happens, except for that fluke hinge that just goes straight into your net, your second man will be able to react to anything that happens, and first man should just be challenging, trying to get possession, trying to force a play, trying to make things awkward, whatever they can do to be aggressive and annoying and just removing agency from the opponents. That it's kind of a basic summary of offense and defense, rotation and positioning, but it's important. It is extremely important because game sense is just as valuable as mechanics are. I'd say even more so. Like, If you have a super mechanical freestyler up against a game sense minded 200 IQ player, chances are more often than not. So I'm talking these players basically have mastery in their gameplay style, and they cannot do the other. So the freestyler is super mechanical, but dumb, and has no game sense whatsoever. On the other hand, the guy who has the fundamentals down, the guy who has the game sense down, he can't even dribble, he can't half flip, he can't fast aerial, but he's super smart and he's super patient. Chances are, more often than not, that game sense minded player is going to win probably 80% of the time. So I would say that game sense and game knowledge is more important, vastly more important than mechanics. But if you're like me and you want to be fancy and you want to learn how to do cool shit, then prioritize both. Or, just prioritize the mechanics, and when you have the mechanics down, then you can focus on the game sense. Actually, no, that's a bad idea. Always focus on game sense. Always know how to be the best teammate that you can possibly be, right? Because at the end of the day, Rocket League is a team game. Unless you're playing Worlds, but nobody fucking plays Worlds. Rocket League's a team game. Your team is relying on you to play your best just as much as you're relying on the rest of your team to play their best. Prioritize game sense. Learn the basic mechanics, obviously. The ones that I brought up. Fast aerialing, half flipping. I would also recommend as early as possible. This one's a little more complex. Speed flip. Very important mechanic, especially on kickoffs. You pretty much always want to be first to the ball on kickoff. I've been doing speed flips so long that I do it in neutral, just in normal gameplay. And I just made a video, it's another compilation video of highlights and funny moments. You can see in multiple points in that video, multiple clips, I am speed flipping, and because I speed flipped, I beat my opponents to the ball who didn't speed flip, who should have beaten me. If I hadn't speed flipped, they definitely would have beaten me even longer. There's one specific point where I was here in the corner, and I don't remember if it was me or DJ. One of us pinched the ball with the opponents, and it went booming out here, just super fast. If it weren't for the fact that I am consistent in speed flips, I would not have made the save that I made. Go check that video out, by the way. A lot of funny moments, a lot of really cool clips. It features DJ a ton. It also features the other friend that I'm making this video specifically for, and you'll know what save I'm talking about, because like it's pretty obvious that I speed flipped and made the save. And yeah, so speed flipping is very important too. Most people aren't going to be doing speed flipping until high plat, but you will see speed flipping occasionally in gold and in low plat, especially in ones. Pretty much everybody in ones speed flipping by gold. Pretty much everybody. And those who aren't are doing very safe kickoff strats. I'm not going to explain. Actually, I might as well. So to speed flip, remember the half flip and how I said that flip canceling would become an important piece of vocabulary for Rocket. One good example of that is speed flipping. Speed flip, basically what you're going to do is you're going to boost and then you're going to diagonal flip. All at the same time. Boost, diagonal flip, right? Boost. There we go, diagonal. Okay. Step 2 is you're going to press down, and what that's going to do is it's going to cancel your front to back rotation, but not your side-to-side rotation. And that looks like this. See that? That's step 1 and 2. Boost, diagonal flip, cancel. Step 3, I've been doing it because muscle memory, my bad. But step 3 is to air roll in the direction that you speed flipped until your car is parallel to the ground. So, like that. Just like that. I'd say step 3B. Step 3B, hyphen, because sometimes you're not going to do this. It's an extra layer of complexity that when you're first learning the mechanic, you don't want to overload yourself. But if you hold drift when you're landing, after you air roll to get yourself parallel, you're going to hold square to drift, and that'll make sure that if you mess up your speed flip, you're going in the direction that you still want to go. It makes you land smoothly. See, smooth landing. And it allows you to make micro adjustments after landing to get the touch you want on the ball. I'm going to do a couple of speed flip kickoffs. You'll be able to see, I'm not going to use power slide for a couple, and then I'll tell you when I start using power slide. You'll be able to see just how precise I can be with my kickoff with using power slide as compared to basically rolling the dice and letting my speed flip do the kickoff for me. So 3, 2, 1, boom, speed flip. See, goes into the corner. Very, very unprecise. So now, let's do it with drift. Much more precise, right? Much more control over exactly where I put the ball, right? All because I'm just power sliding when I land. It's smooth. It helps you make micro adjustments after landing, and you can tap it too to make even quicker micro adjustments. But yeah, that's we're kind of getting into advanced, complex territory there. So yeah, that's a speed flip, and the applications for a speed flip are pretty fucking obvious. I don't think I have to explain to anyone why being faster and being able to get up to supersonic speed much faster than just holding boost is a pro. I shouldn't have to explain that to him, right? Yeah, just, it's faster. You're faster if you speed. But it is one of the more complex mechanics, and it's pretty divisive in the community. A lot of people, I'd say probably 60-70% of the fan base don't know how to speed flip, and I'd say 60% don't know how to speed flip. 20% of them think that they know how to speed flip, but they do it wrong. And then 40% roughly of the fan base knows how to speed flip. It's extremely divisive, and it's pretty much personal preference which rank you prioritize or when you think it's important to learn how to speed flip. I think it's important as early as possible. I've been doing it since Plat 1, so I'd say Plat 2. I've been doing it since about Plat 2, so season 5. I've been speed flipping since season 5. By the way, I'm hard stuck Diamond 2 at my peak now. I've hit Diamond 2, Div 3 multiple times, but everybody knows how messed up the MMR system is the last couple of seasons. And come to find out, they changed the what would you call it? The rank allotment, like the percentage of players that are in a certain rank. Essentially, Plat 2 and lower is easier now because there's more players, and Plat 3 and upward is harder because there's fewer players. So yeah, to everybody who was saying that I'm bad and that I don't know what I'm talking about when I've been complaining how horrible the matchmaking is for the last several seasons. People who were trying to say that even though I've been Diamond since season 6, that I must not be a Diamond anymore because the last season, or I'd say the last 3 seasons, I haven't gotten my Diamond season rewards. I did get them this season, so fuck you. But to those people who are saying that I'm not Diamond anymore because I haven't gotten my season rewards in a couple seasons and refuse to accept that I'm right in presuming that MMR works different now, that they made alterations to MMR, and that they made changes to how many players can be in each rank. Yeah, I was right. Screw you guys. Anyway, that's this video. I hope you enjoyed. If it helped you at all, leave a like, maybe subscribe. Go check out my other content. Again, I've got, I just released my second highlights and funny moments video. The first one is also up on the channel. It's pretty good. I'm getting more creative with my editing, so that's fun, and also it makes better videos. So I'm always improving. I don't post very frequently, just because I'm not monetized, and I've been doing YouTube for a while, and nobody's really subscribing anymore. Like, I've noticed this for most channels. Subscriptions are super rare nowadays. So because it's not, I did originally start YouTube with a couple of friends for the passion of it, but we also wanted to make it a career, and that just never happened. When I see videos that take me like 20 plus hours to make, you know, really high effort content, get 30, 40 views, and then a tutorial that I slapped together in 15 minutes gets 17,000 views, it hurts. So the drive's not really there, so I don't make content a whole lot anymore. I want to start making more content. I don't know what I want to make. Probably more of the same, more of what I've been making. I do want to do, go back to my creepypasta videos. But, yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, go check out my other videos. Let me know if anything in this video helped you. Let me know if you disagree with anything I've said in the video. Let me know if you think that I'm wrong about anything in the video. And I will probably comment and explain how, no, I'm actually right and you're wrong. Probably won't make a follow-up video unless like some big name channel responds to my video, but like that's ever gonna fucking happen. Sunless, check out my video and like comment on it and stuff. Get me more engagement. Also Musty and Letterman, I don't know, like react to my video. Just, yeah, cool. Anyway, yeah, so that's the end of the video. Hope it helped you. I'm pretty sure it'll help the 2 people that I specifically made it for. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.